Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Halloween. Welcome to another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs, bringing you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. I'm your host, JP.
Hey, yo.
And with me, as always, 610 Beast from the Southeast, and soon to be my teammate again, Mr. Country K.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
And he's going to be joining us in a little bit, but he's on the phone with the insurance company, and I'm sure he's going to tell you all about that story. But the greatest DJ in the whole fucking world, Mr. DJ Mad
Somebody
Sticks.
tells DJ Request what to play.
Um, Halloween, and it's only fitting because it is looking pretty fucking scary for some of these teams. Um, Mine being one of them. It kind of started. I mean, it was really only kind of a scary thing for everybody except Mad Six because um his all of a sudden his new favorite team, I don't know where this came from. I don't know how this even happened. He was a Jets fan, but then all of a sudden he had this fandom that from the Dallas Cowboys that just kind of came out of nowhere. It was almost bandwagon type. It was pretty weird. It was weird. Um my team got stomped. K's team, I don't want to say stomped. 24-18, I wouldn't say is getting stomped. That's close. A whole hell of a lot closer than a lot of people gave y'all credit for. Um, but I mean, Josh Allen, 324, 2 touchdowns. Still the running game is that. How do you feel? I mean, he didn't play, but how do you feel about Lenny joining the Bills? He
Well, he's on the
got out
practice
of the
squad, right?
practice squad, I think yesterday or the day before or something like that.
Yeah, he's on the practice squad. I mean, good addition. Can't discredit if he's healthy and he's ready to go. That's a great addition to the team.
I mean, that's the one thing that the Bills don't have is a run game.
They have a run
What?
game. Their offensive line just not that good. That's the real
That
thing.
that
Like people
that's the real case
people
behind
keep
it.
making it seem. Yeah, because James Cook is doing decent. They just want another guy to help to balance it out. Because they want James Cook to like be more of a scat back type of situation and
I
let
think
Lenny
they're just
pound. But
indecisive. I don't think,
the
and I
offensive
and
line
I
ain't good like
honestly
that.
feel like this is for the past couple of years because that's kind of been the Bills' problem is just their lack of a run game other than Josh Allen himself. Um,
Well, yeah, that's stat wise. If you look at the stats, like, yeah, they need a run game, but then you blame the running back and not saying his offensive line might be suspect. That's what it is. The offensive line is
I was gonna
trash.
ask, is it that the offensive line is suspect, or is it that the coaching just doesn't trust their running backs
The offensive
enough
line is
to
suspect.
give them the carries and stuff like that that's necessary?
The offensive line is suspect. That's why you have so many clips of Josh Allen running.
It's a little too many clips of Josh Allen running
So
for any
if the
coach's
Josh
taste.
Allen is running not by choice, it's not like the play's breaking down. He got a clean pocket, and Josh Allen like, all right, I'm gonna just run. Like, no, that's not what's happening. Josh Allen is running for his fucking life. And then now he jumps over a linebacker. And then next thing you know, he runs over a safety. He's just rumbling and bumbling, you know what I'm saying? Because he's running for his life because the offensive line is suspect. So again, these running back
He he
breaks,
is one of the more stacked QBs in the league too.
the
That
offensive line is suspect.
well, then I guess the next step, definitely for the Bills if they want to keep because that makes me wonder sometimes. And I brought it up the last show. But I wanted to know if coaches have a sort of mindset when they have a certain quarterback, they can quote unquote get away with having, I guess, mediocre offensive line play. When you have somebody like Josh Allen who can extend the play, you kind of or not underlook the performance of the offensive line because they don't really have to, block all that off because they're already running outside the pocket and everything else like that. But when it comes to the passing game, their offensive line is just bad. Like plain and simple, they're just bad. So at what is it a stigmatism or it just,
It
hey,
has
we have
nothing to
this type of
do.
quarterback, so we probably don't have to invest as much. Now that's a very stupid way of thinking, and I want to give a lot of these coaches.
Can't hear you at all. So while he's resetting, we'll just have you guys, I guess, listen to me. Try to explain why I'm not gonna explain, because as soon as I try to explain the point, he's gonna come on like I'm not even explaining anything. So I might as well just wait. Just wait and give you guys my voice in this moment.
Can you hear me?
Yep, hear you.
All right, but somebody try
So yeah,
something.
so yeah, it has nothing to do with trying to just spare on the fact that you have a certain type of quarterback. That's why you lack off on the offensive line. No, it's a hunt for getting top picks, and you only have a certain amount of money. Like as far as like receivers and weapons and DBs and things like that, like you don't have a unlimited bag. Like if you had an unlimited bag, then it'll be a manhunt for all of the best talent on one team.
But then,
So
but it's when you're talking about getting the draft picks and everything else like that. Like that's understandable to get draft
no,
picks.
I'm saying as far as draft picks and players, I'm saying the bag, money, like as in the salary cap. That's what I'm saying. It's a manhunt for all of that stuff. And based off of all of that stuff, you only be able to get top picks in certain places, like a Stephon Diggs and different players like that in those top areas. The doggone DB guy who's nice, but the man ain't played in like 4 years, I don't think. But he's played, but it's like
It's just
has he?
sometimes it makes me feel like you said, there's that mad grab for like the skill positions and everything else, like the playmakers, all that other kind of stuff. But then teams try to like moneyball their offensive line situation. We want to get
Not
like
necessarily.
the cheapest like a good offensive lineman, but the cheapest one that we can find.
Well, they trying to lowball everybody.
Low ball everybody. But the emphasis on offensive line, especially through the draft, at least for the last 3-4 years, haven't necessarily been like everybody's mad dashing for linemen. Like in the first round, it's either a defensive end, you're looking at those quote unquote premier positions. You got the corners, the wide receivers, the defensive line, and the quarterback. And then you have, sprinkle some linebackers and stuff like that here and there, but it's mostly been that. And then when you get into like the second, third rounds and stuff, that's when people start looking into their linemen. There hasn't been necessarily like the linemen haven't necessarily been on everybody's priority list
Well,
when it comes to the
to be
draft
honest
the last few years.
well, yeah, because I said they all trying to get weapons for very cheap, And then the offensive lineman, it's only a few that's like for sure, like, oh, they're gonna for sure be a like Pro Bowler. They're for sure gonna be a guy. Then
Was
you
it a
got
lack?
some
Is
misses.
it a lack of actual like talented offensive linemen as well?
I don't necessarily think that. I mean, just it's a lot
I
of
shouldn't
guys
say
that has
talented because if you're in the league, you're probably talented. But
yeah.
I should say top
I'm more than
the
saying.
tier list, top tier players.
Well, I mean, defensive linemen are getting a lot better. So
Also true.
I mean, they trying to find different fits for different teams. I think so. Whoever fits their team, because they trying to transition into different things. And if this person can't do this, but they can do this, trying to find a guy that can do both, and they can just train.
Yeah. Well, and it's also it also kind of seems like if if your team is going to have a good front seven, it almost needs to be homegrown. There's not a whole like if you're a really good offensive lineman, chances are you're not really seeing the free agent market. So it's kind of like it needs to be homegrown. So I feel like this next draft, honestly, from what I've seen in college football and stuff like that, and we'll find out more come Friday because Mr. Ojeda is going to be joining us on Friday. About it, but that's one thing that I wanted to ask him. Like, I understand the scouting and stuff, but what's the scouting looking like for these offensive linemen? Because I'm starting to think that at least the next 2 years, we should be or at least teams should be looking at offensive linemen like like gold. Like, man, we need to have these guys. We need to have an offensive line and everything like that now because, like you said, these defensive ends and linemen and stuff like that are something else. Like this
Yeah, you
last
can
5-10 years of defensive linemen are ridiculous. A
more than like
lot
of
of
those
really good
linemen have
guys.
to
So you
develop.
need the offensive linemen. So now everybody's got the skill players they need. It's time to stock up on those offensive linemen.
Yes, in theory, but that position has to develop more. I'm not saying it hasn't. I'm just saying as far as the player and everything like that. Like I said, they have young guys that they're trying to train more, but the position has to develop for that to happen, for that to be gold. Those guys that develop on defense, they develop more. So offensive lineman has to develop more as far as being able to be more versatile, more limber, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Faster to it and all of that stuff. So I'm with you. Just they have to develop more and able to see them like gold.
yeah. And so then that falls on the coaching too as well. No.
100%. That's exactly what it falls on. Coaches have to be coaches. That's all it is. Coaches have to be coaches. That's always what it's about. Like somebody got to teach the thing and teach development and all of that stuff.
And we came to this Thursday, so 24-18. Um, that kicker or that kick that I sent you, um, was it blocked? For a
I
second, I
don't.
thought it was blocked, but
I think
but then you look
he
at it,
just I think he just caught it wrong. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
shank that bitch. That's that shit just whack, fucking died. It didn't even get to like an apex point, and it just it's right off the line. Just, but I was looking at that going, what the fuck was? When was the last time you guys had a decent automatic like kicker? It can't be going back to the
So
Grammaticus days.
because our
It can't
guy
be that
missed
long.
that kick like that, our guy missed a kick like that, he's not automatic. He made the rest of the kicks that game. You know that, right?
No, but I mean like on a
And
consistent
that's
the guys
I'm
like the
trying to
Justin
figure it out.
Tucker and like the
It
ones
could
that
have been
never
the
miss.
whole. We don't know. Nobody came out and found out the report. Not in. I haven't gone to check it out. So I mean, it could have been the hold. That's a possibility. We can blame the
Laces
kicker
in,
because of what it looked
laces
like, but
out,
again,
Dan.
it could be a various of things. But I'm not going to
Which
say he's not automatic because of that situation.
Prater got upset with somebody or got upset with his holder last week for the laces in. Like that's really, and I'm trying to figure out how, because obviously I've never been a kicker once in my life. So I don't understand why, and maybe somebody needs to educate me on it. And maybe I missed the Pat McAfee episode when he talked about it, but why is it so laces out, laces out, laces out? What is it about the laces in that changes the trajectory or the way the ball is kicked? Because I figured if you kick that bitch the way you should, it should go straight through, right? So why is it so different when the laces are in than when the laces are out?
Well, if you kick a smooth surface, you can control where it goes. If you kick a bumpy surface, you can catch an angle. You can catch all kind of stuff. I ain't no kicker. I'm just using that as my base. When you kick something smooth, you got better control of it. You can grip something wrong. You can catch a ridge wrong. You can catch a corner. You can catch any kind of doggone thing. I don't know. That's just my assumption.
It makes sense. But I mean, again, I don't know. I'm not in the profession of kicking, so I don't know the answer to that question. But I just know when I see the laces are in or whatever, kickers start losing their fucking mind, and it's pretty interesting to see. The Cowboys, yeah, they put a stomping on the Rams. CD Lamb finally decided to show up. Fucking cousin Day Day is put up the 158, 2 touchdowns, 12 receptions, did 41 points in Caleb's fantasy. Um, so he was happy about that. Let's see. Dakota had a decent game. 304, 4 touchdowns. How late was all that? No, that's all early, it looks like. And then didn't do
Man,
really
it's
much in the
crazy. The
second half.
Cowboys blew out a sorry team. Wow. Yay. The
That's what I was
Cowboys blew
thinking
out.
too. I was like, it's the Rams. Like, what do we really?
Them boys are undermanned.
But hey,
Rams
they
blew out
got
a
that
sorry.
Super Bowl, right? They went all out for that Super Bowl.
I mean, it's gonna be y'all turn next. Y'all gonna blow out somebody trash. He'll blow out somebody undermanned.
We'll see. Vikings and Packers. Kirk Cousins out with an Achilles. And fucking Justin Jefferson out the whole season. And now they're starting quarterback. But they still ended up beating the Packers 24-10.
Yeah, they said they might trade for some players, or they might go pick up somebody if the guy that's there don't look up to par. That's what I heard so far.
Who would they go after?
You already know who I'm a big advocate for.
Who?
I'm a huge advocate for Cam Newton.
Uh,
Cam Newton with those weapons, especially Jay Jettis come back.
I thought he was out for the year.
He's out for the year, they said.
That's what I thought. I could be wrong, but I thought it was a year.
I don't know. Haven't looked at the injury report for the Vikings. I just saw the shit with Kirk this morning, though.
Yeah.
Here we go.
24-10, and then the Titans over the Falcons 28-23.
Hey,
Fucking,
Will Levis went off.
I
Will
was
Levis
about
and
to say
D-Hop went
Will
off.
Levis with the mayonnaise in the coffee ass fucking
Yeah, yeah.
went
He looked like the
viral because
German.
went viral. His girlfriend left him on live television. Falling down all the way to the second round. 238 and 4 touchdowns though. Not bad. One of them to D-Hop.
Hey, he proved
Bad.
her wrong.
Yeah, that's one game. And it's against the Falcons.
Man, the Falcons got a mean defensive line.
They're also
I thought
shitty
the
on the
same
road.
thing. That's cool, but that doggone defensive line nasty though. That's who we got to face.
Hopkins actually, Hopkins had 3 of those, not one of those, 3 of those. 128 and 3 touchdowns. Hold on 4 receptions, he almost had a Randy Moss-like game. 3 out of his 4 receptions were touchdowns. Damn. Just chuck it deep. He's there somewhere. Fuck it. You think they're going to trade him now after that type of game? Because
Trade.
there are rumors that the Titans are trying to clean house. Them and the Broncos.
Well, Broncos look like they got rid of who they need to get rid of.
Think Jerry Jeudy will be on the move?
I don't know.
Speaking of Broncos, 24-9 against the Chiefs. Patrick
Yeah,
Mahomes
that's
had
why I
2
said.
interceptions.
That's why I said what I said. They got rid of who they need to get rid of.
But then here's the question. Was Taylor Swift at the game? No. I don't think she was. But that was petty and pretty funny as fuck that they played Taylor Swift's song as at the end for the victory song.
I didn't know they did
And
that.
I was like, yep,
I mean, don't
that's pretty funny.
they played them twice, right?
Yep,
They played them. Yeah, so they got to play them again.
in Kansas City this time.
Yeah, I'm banking that's a blowout. I'm banking that's a
And
blow.
Taylor's at the game.
I'm talking. I don't give a damn if Taylor at the game or not. Pat was at that game and he heard that shit. I'm gonna tell you right now, Pat and Andy Reid both heard that shit, and I can absolutely guarantee they gonna try to beat that Dolphins record. They trying to beat that NFL record because the Dolphins could have beat it and they didn't, but they finna do it. They finna be like, oh yeah, that's how you feel. They gonna break that record. They gonna break that record on them boys. That shit gonna get ugly.
Patrick Mahomes is going to break the single game touchdown record. 8 of them.
No, I think they're gonna break that score record.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They'll
I
probably
don't know how they're
they'll
gonna do
probably
it.
have to
I don't
hit
know.
that.
Oh, not necessarily. They can run some shit. It's just gonna be complete dominance.
To a
You know what I mean?
goose
They might
egg,
run
you
some
think
good
you
plays.
think they'll put up some points?
Say it again.
To a goose egg, or you think the Broncos will put up some points?
No, they're gonna put up some points.
Just make sure.
They're just gonna break their will.
Saints and Colts. Saints won 38-27. Carr had 310, 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor had 95 yards. Shaheed had himself good game, 153 and a touchdown out of fucking nowhere. Richardson's
You know
coming
what I
back.
hate about?
Go ahead.
You know what I hate about this game right here?
What?
That the fact of you were just about to say, Richardson's about to come back, and Uncle Rico didn't do bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
They really need to just sit Richardson for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what expectations the Colts have for this season, but it seems like they believe at some point in time this year they were going to win games to make it in the playoffs because they keep trying to push Anthony Richardson into this goddamn game, into the season. I do not understand why, but it does not make any fucking sense. You know what I mean? Like, he got hurt already ahead of surgery. Just let him sit the fuck down. He already has some experience. So now he can fucking goddamn, like, really, you know what I mean? Because didn't he play against the Eagles? He played against the Eagles, right? Or was it Uncle Rico?
It was Uncle Rico, I think.
Oh, because he got hurt already. Who did Anthony Richardson
Richardson was
play?
hurt by week 3.
I got to see who he played against already. So, but my point is he's already had NFL experience. So just let him sit with that right now, and just then you be able to coach him through Uncle Rico's mistakes and watching film and things of that nature, so he can see shit to be like, oh, in this situation I can fucking run, or in this situation I can do this or that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or when I was in this situation and looking at his own film, I did this, I should have did that. You know what I mean? He can go through the whole process as well as, but it's like you try to rush him back out there. It's like, what expectation do you have for this fucking season? Because it don't make any goddamn sense. It's like, y'all motherfuckers not finna go to playoffs. So why are you trying to get your franchise guy hurt? All right, so you said he was hurt by week 3. So he played against the fucking Bills and almost won. He beat the fucking Bears. And then you said week 3 he got hurt against the Eagles, which they won. And
it might be after that.
He played. He got hurt that game. So he had 17 snaps against the Eagles. You see what I'm saying? So it's like y'all end up beating the Eagles. So it's like, oh, that was preseason. I'm fucking tripping. All right, so his first 3 games of the regular season was the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Ravens. So you said week 3.
Was it? It might be either week 3 or week 4.
Gardner Mitchell was in week 3. He got hurt week 2. He got hurt against the Texans.
Got it.
So it's like you played the Jags and the Texans. You got some experience in your division, I guess. What is your point of trying to rush him back out here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
At 3 and 5.
Just think about it. He's playing the teams. He'll come back playing the Panthers, the Patriots, my team, the Titans, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Falcons, the Raiders, and the Texans. Like, you seriously think, like, all right, we're gonna make the playoffs. Like, come on, man. Like, what's the point? I was saying this in the beginning of the year.
They should be trying to make that legacy pick and get fucking Marvin Harrison Jr.
Bro, I said this in the beginning of the year. They just should sit him down and not have him so he don't get hurt. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. And now they trying to throw him back out there. Like, what the fuck you think's gonna happen? It's not like y'all picked up more offensive linemen. Y'all ain't picked nobody to fuck else up.
You got one guy.
Jonathan Taylor came back. That was it. That was the only thing different happened.
Yeah, more needs to be done for them to be successful. And I do agree they should probably sit him the rest of the year and let him build off of what he's already done. Possibly try and get that, draft pick to get and Marvin Harrison Jr. Get him some more weapons. Michael Pittman Jr. is good, but if you had Michael Pittman Jr. and Harrison, lights out, lights out. The Dolphins went ahead and beat the Patriots 31-17, as they usually do. Bill Belichick doesn't necessarily have great games against the Dolphins. That's historically speaking. Um, so it wasn't really any different to a 324, 3 touchdowns. He had one interception early on. Waddle had 121 and a touchdown. But yeah, 31-17 beating the Patriots at home. Patriots are 2-6. Yeah, people are thinking that Belichick is possibly tanking to try and go get, Caleb Williams to save his, job out there in New England, which is wild to even think about and to even say out loud that Bill Belichick could possibly be on the hot seat um, out in New England. But it's really starting to look like that right now. So we'll see what happens the rest of the year, but where it is right
Um,
now, Patriots are not on the right path.
I think the hot take is that he's tanking for Caleb Williams. There's so many other quarterbacks in that damn draft class that you can get other than Caleb Williams that won't come with
Well, I
that
mean,
bullshit
again,
extra shit.
the greatest
Because
draft
there's no
prospect
way.
of all time, right?
I mean, again, that's a lot of extra hype, but I'm just saying it's a lot of other quarterbacks that he'll go get other than Caleb Williams. I think that's just the big name they want to attach to it. I mean, they're probably right. It's just they attach the bullshit name to it. Try to throw it off. You know who I really think will fit in that damn system for real? Michael Penix Jr.
Is it Phoenix or Penix?
Either way.
Nah, he would. Yeah, he. I was about to say, to be honest, and I've said this before, I kind of like him more than Caleb Williams right now. I kind of like him over all the quarterbacks, to be honest with you. Um,
But honestly, I think that should be like a question that we have for Corey.
yeah, we can't really ask Mr. Ojeda that question, can we?
No, not at
Which one
all.
would you prefer?
No.
Like, no, can't do that. Can't ask that question. Jets beat the Giants 13-10. Fucking, who's the home? Who's the away team? Or as Deb likes to call them, the East Rutherford, New Jersey Jets and Giants. That was an ugly game too. Hey, Zach Wilson gets a dub though. Good for him. Good for him. Jags 20-10 over the Steelers. Eagles 38-31 on the Command. Hey, Sam Howell almost 400 yards, 397, 4 touchdowns and a pick. AJ Brown 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, who would have thought Sam Howell would have a statistically better game than Jalen Hurts? Pretty crazy. Commanders do drop to 3-5, and they're 1-3 at home. Yeesh. Panthers eke one out against the Texans, 15-13. Another ugly game. Seahawks beat the Browns 24-20. Now 5-2.
Hold on. You kind of like breezed over Washington and didn't fucking mention that they just traded Montrez Sweat to the Bears for a second round pick. You didn't even mention that. Like you
Oh, I
breezed
didn't
by.
even see that. Did that happen?
Yeah,
It
that
just
happened
happened?
like 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Motherfucker. Well, there goes who I wanted them to go after. Or I wanted the Niners to go after.
All right. I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked my teammate. Well, he's on our team too. You'll meet him. But how many fucking weapons do the fucking Niners need to not win a damn Super Bowl? Because that's all the fuck y'all about to do. Like, y'all keep begging for more weapons, and they already had y'all slated to win the Super Bowl already. And y'all are still, oh my God, this is crazy.
To be honest, it is the a little bit of that defensive
And y'all are
coordinator
only
coming.
5-3, and everybody has gave up. Like, that's how you let you know, like, y'all don't even believe this right now. Because y'all 5-3, and everybody is like, man, fuck.
But it's not even. But it's not. It's the 3 in a row part that has people freaking out.
I
From
told you,
undefeated,
y'all blew y'all what?
from 5 in a row to losing 3 in a row, and I was telling people, one, the defense coordinator to pull his head out of his fucking ass. We're looking at probably 5 straight, not just a loss against the Bengals. We're about to lose the next 2 weeks out. Who we've got. What did it say? Who do we have on the schedule? Let me see real quick. Next week we have one second.
This is hilarious.
Like there's a reason why I was kind of like, well, look what we're doing. Look what's going on here, people. While this is popping up, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our sponsors over at Raise.
What's up, JAFFO Army? JP here, the All-Pro JAFFOs, bringing you a message from our proud partners over at Raise Energy. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring the consumer a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help us put your workouts and focus in general to the very next level. Perfect for anyone at any time. Raise Energy has become the most popular, the best rated energy drink on the market to date, with a phenomenal flavor profile that puts most of the competitors just downright to shame. Powered by the enhanced Refresh technology, Raise Energy delivers with a performance enhancing energy drink profile that aids in the most often overlooked categories, which include targeted focus, enhanced recovery time, as glycogen becomes depleted, improve clean energy levels, boost in stamina and in hydration. Most importantly, each can of Raise has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. You should not have to drink or settle for any other energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, opt for the smart choice with the #1 fan-voted energy drink on the planet with Raise Energy Drink. Use the promo code ALPHARAISE at checkout to get 15% off of your order. Demand more. Join the Raise Rebellion. Let them know the JAFFOs sent you.
Use the promo code ALPHARAISE at repsports.com, reppsports.com, and get 15% off your order. And like I was saying, the 49ers, the next 2 games they have against the Jags and the Buccaneers. And that's why I was saying 5 in a row, because we could easily, if things keep the way they are, we can easily lose the game against the Jaguars, and we can easily lose the game against the Bucs. And to be honest, the way the Seahawks are playing right now, we could probably easily lose that game. And then right after that, guess where we have to go? Philly. Might easily lose that game if this keeps up. Seahawks again. Shit. We might have to wait all the way until we play the Cardinals again before we even start sniffing any sort of turnaround. Because, again, defensive coordinator right now is going completely away from what the 49ers were. on defense. Even Bosa was up there kind of, I'm used to 4-rush team. All these blitzes and, it hasn't been working. One of the calls that, ended up screwing us, the fucking zero blitz call on fourth, just stupid coaching mistakes on the defensive side of the ball is killing us right now. And on top of that, you're missing Trent Williams on the left side of the line. I think Brock came out of concussion protocol a little too early. I'm not saying that he was having any problems because of a concussion, this past week against the Bengals. But me personally, I wish he would have waited a week, at least minimum a week to fully get, his head cleared. Because you don't want to fuck around with, concussions and head injuries and shit like that. But I'm looking at the schedule going, if this keeps up, it could get worse. And that's why I think people are panicking. And that's why I think you're looking at it going, well, you guys are just 5-3. I get it. But look at the future of the schedule. If this keeps up, that three straight losses can turn into something horrific in the eyes of a lot of 49er fans, because again, like you said, people had going to the Super Bowl. But you can't go to the Super Bowl doing this. You can't go to the Super Bowl getting your ass whooped, because you can't score more than 17 points. Literally 3 games in a row, we scored 17 points.
That's crazy.
We went from we've scoring more than 30 points a game to where we can't even break 20.
One
of the lowest, in the league. Over the last 3 game spans.
B Rabbit was called the genius.
CMC getting hurt, Debo getting hurt. Trent Williams not being on the offensive line has killed us. That has been absolute fucking devastation on the front set. It's been bad. So that's why I'm saying I don't think, because those first 5 games, easy. You should have beat the Steelers. You should have beat the Rams. You should have beat the Giants. You should have beat the Cardinals. You should have beat the Cowboys. You should have beat the Browns, but you shit the bed on that one because you wasted a 3rd-round pick. You should have beat the Vikings, but the Vikings are, before Kirk Cousins and stuff got hurt, Vikings are not a horrible team, but it's a team that you should have beat. Playing against the Bengals, man, I was like, Jamar Chase is about to go off. And that's exactly what he did. That's what I'm saying. That's where I think the panic button, people are looking at the future. It's not so much of a right now, oh, we're 5-3, we'll be fine. There are some stooges who believe that. Oh, we're good. Don't worry about it. 5-3. Just don't worry. All right. Don't worry about it. If you're a 49er fan and you're not worried about it, you haven't been watching film. You haven't been watching the games. Because it can get worse, and according to Murphy's Law, anything that can will. So, be buckle the fuck in, 49ers fans, because this shit is about to get even worse before it gets any better. Before any sort of turnaround, and by then it'll be too late. By then we'll be even lucky if we're scraping the barrel for a wild card spot. That's how it's looking right now. So you can get mad all you want to, but unless our defensive coordinator decides, you know what, the way I decided to do this has not been working. It needs to change.
So, you know what's beautiful about this moment is that you had a roller coaster ride of my background, right? And then to have an overall point to end exactly where I agree with you. Y'all are gonna be fighting for a wild card spot. I agree with that. That and overall take. I agree. And you're gonna go home. And then everybody's gonna riot and want Kyle Shanahan fired because it's gonna pretty much show exactly what I've been telling you, that he's a choke artist. This man's B-Rabbit from 8 Mile. He ain't got his confidence yet. I don't know what needs to happen with him. He needs to go do ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers, and I wanted to use that joke so badly. But yeah, he he need to figure it out, bro. On some real, like, he need to figure out the combination and what's going on. But I don't think it happen no time soon. And yeah, pretty much like I was saying. Again, whole bunch of background to overall point. It's a beautiful moment.
It's
Because a lot of that you was like blaming guys that you shouldn't blame, to be honest with you.
I'm blaming.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, I'm blaming the defensive coordinator for part of it because
Well,
yes,
that's
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 pretty much
that's true, but you're blaming a rookie kicker. That's the point I was saying. Like, you
not
can't
so
blame
much
this
the
guy
rookie
when you had
kicker.
several chances
I
to
would
score.
again. It's kind of to the
So
point
yes,
of
he was in that moment, but
you
come on.
don't need you don't need to waste certain picks on certain people in certain situations. There's no need to waste a third round pick on a kicker, rookie or not, whatever the fuck, yeah.
So what would you
What do
have
you
got
expect
instead?
is gonna happen? It's a rookie kicker, he's gonna miss some. Sure, sure, sure. But in the third round, we don't need that in the third round. We already
So
had
what would you have
somebody who
got
was
instead?
automatic.
What
We
would you have
already
got
had Robbie
instead?
Gold, and you fucking, you shit on him like the Bears did and turned him away. Like you didn't need to do a third rounder though. We could have done a whole lot more with that third rounder.
What would you have got instead?
Probably another fucking offensive lineman. An offensive lineman to bolster the right side. Because that's what we needed.
So hold
And what
on.
did we
So you're
do? We
saying,
didn't we didn't have a first or second round pick. And what did we do in the draft? We got a fucking another safety and a kicker.
okay, so look at where you're currently at right now with Trent Williams out, which is your left tackle. You're saying with that third round pick, you would have got a right tackle, and Trent Williams would have been out, and you still wouldn't have had nobody to replace him.
I'm not saying that would have been the situation. It could have been, either interior on the right guard or where it could have been
Again, you're still
one of those
saying the
spots.
right side, so you still would have been in the same situation you're
But
in right now.
that's assuming during that time that we were going to expect Trent Williams was going to get hurt. We didn't know he was going to get hurt.
Well, obviously, yeah, but I'm saying where you're currently at right now, with everything playing out the way it played out, even if you get that kicker and you got a right guy, you still don't have a guy to replace Trent right now.
I mean, Trent Williams is arguably the best tackle in the whole fucking league right now, considering.
But he's hurt.
Yeah, but now he's hurt. So yeah, it's hard to replace that. Once he comes back, though, we'll see how it ends up going. But again, I would have bolstered the offensive line on the right side with the third round pick. I know we got an offensive lineman. We did get an offensive tackle, but we didn't get him till late, like super late. But that's what I'm saying. There was other people on the board that we could have got. That we could have got that tackle, and we could have got that guard in the third round. We could have got that right guard. Hell, maybe even a left guard too, or a center. But that's what we should have done with it. Instead, we got another safety and a kicker. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. It still doesn't make any sense to me. Like, okay, Jake Moody was great in fucking college. And like, what does that mean? We have Robbie Gould, good as gold. Like that's why
Yeah,
did we
well,
need anybody else?
because he's a
Why did we need to
grandfather.
go down that route?
He was a grandfather.
So,
You had somebody's grandfather out there kicking at that point. It was
like
time for him to go play shuffleboard,
kickers can stay in the league until they're grandfathers. Adam Vinatieri
bro.
did it.
You got a
Adam
handful of
Vinatieri
guys.
left the game looking like fucking Santa Claus.
I got that, but you got a handful of guys, and that's a legendary kicker.
You've had plenty of kickers before him and during stuff like the end of their 40s. I think Prater right now is in his like late 30s, getting into his 40s. But that's the
Late
thing,
30s,
kickers
that's not
can
a
last
grandfather.
longer because they don't get hit.
Late
They
30s is
usually
not a
last
grandfather.
well off, into their, 40s and stuff like that because they don't get hit.
Robbie Gould was 76.
Robbie
He was a
Gould was
grandfather.
not 76. Robbie
He was
Gould is in his
76
late
years
30s.
old.
Robbie
Anybody
Gould
look
is
up
in
Robbie
his late
Gould's
fucking
fucking
30s, and
goddamn.
we already said, you know what? We're gonna
Look
go with
up
the
Robbie
fucking
Gould's
the
fucking goddamn
20-something-year-old.
picture.
The 20-something-year-old who's never been in a fucking, major
He's
game situation in the NFL in his life. We have a guy who's got fucking actual Super Bowl experience and playoff experience, and you shipped him off for a fucking kicker, for a goddamn, for a rookie. You shipped off one of the better like he was a top 5 kicker his whole
So,
fucking career, basically,
so
with the
Robbie Gould never
49ers.
missed kicks for y'all. He never
In his
missed kicks
late
for y'all.
30s, what?
He never missed none. Robbie Gould never missed kicks for y'all. He made
I'm not
100%
saying
of
he
his
never
kicks for
missed
y'all.
kicks, but he never missed
Well,
kicks in the fucking clutch
the way
moments.
you
I'll tell
acting,
you
you
that.
acting like
When the
you
game was
acting
on
like
the
you never
line,
missed
when the
kicks,
game was on the line and you needed to put it through the uprights to win the game, Robbie fucking Gould did it.
bro. You're 5-3.
He didn't shank that
The
shit off
season's
to the left.
halfway done. The season's halfway done, and you're talking about critical moment. In the early part of the year, you're talking about a rookie kicker kicking in a critical moment. That's not a critical moment.
It's to
It's
win
early
the
in the
game.
year.
What do you mean
That's
it's not a
that's a
critical
that's
moment?
that's a good
You
mistake
missed
to
the
have early
game-winning
in the
field
season.
goal. 3
You
seconds
have
left on the clock.
I
We need you to
understand.
put it
I
through fucking
understand the moment.
uprights to go home with the
I got it.
W,
I got
and
that
you
part. I
shank
got
it
it.
off
I
to the right.
understand.
What do you mean it's
Right.
not critical?
It's because it's early in the year. That's why I'm telling you. You're
Early in the
making this
year,
up. That's what I'm saying.
that
Because
was the fucking
you see it like
catalyst
that.
of the
You want
tumbling
you want you to
snowball
win
that is
every
this
game.
fuck up.
You want to win every single game. Everybody wants to win every game. But it's okay for him to miss that early in the year because he's a rookie. Robbie Gould is kicking y'all. You can sit here and want him as much as you want, but he's missed kicks for y'all. He's lost games because he missed kicks. He's done that in his career. Every kicker has. You got to get used to that. Some things happen. That's not a Super Bowl kick. That's not a playoff kick. That's not a get us into the playoff kick. Those are critical moments. That's early in the year. Sub 10 games, bro. Like, come on.
We're gonna look back and be like, what was the moment that kind of turned everything around that made this
And it
again
wasn't that
snowball
one.
effect of bullshit happen? We're gonna go right
It
back to the
wasn't
game
that one.
against the Browns, where the fucking
The
kid
game where you were
missed
playing a team
2
undermanned, a
that could have
quarterback
put us
and a
in
running
the
back.
win column. And then
The team
everybody
that you
started
were
blaming
playing,
Brock for
they
that.
you had
Everybody
top
started
tier
blaming.
defensive players. They didn't have a quarterback or a running back, and y'all worrying about the kick from a rookie kicker. Y'all
Yep.
supposed to
6
blow the
points,
Browns
6
out.
points
They didn't
off the
have
board.
Nick Chubb or Deshaun Watson, and y'all are worrying about the kick from
6
the
points
kicker.
off the board, and the fact that the defensive
Seriously?
coordinator was once again in his bag of bullshit.
Y'all should have smothered them offensively and defensively and on the special teams.
We had already had Trent Williams and fucking Debo out at that point too. We didn't have anybody there.
You still had Christian.
You
You
don't
had
think
Brandon
Ayuk
Ayuk,
is
the guy
that
y'all
guy,
said
so
that was
obviously
good.
that's not a weapon that
Brandon
we
Ayuk
have.
is
We
still
only
healthy.
had George.
Fans,
We
I
only
need
had
y'all to
George
know
and
that Brandon
CMC, and
Ayuk
CMC got
still
hurt.
healthy. Brandon Ayuk is still healthy, family. That's what I need y'all to know. He is
And
still healthy. And
yeah, but again,
exactly what
according
the
to
fuck
you,
I
he's
was
not
saying.
that guy, so he's not a weapon. So
Look at what the fuck is going on. Tell me if he's a guy then. If I'm wrong, tell me where his contributions have had y'all in the position. I'm just saying.
tell you where his contributions. He's the only receiver that's basically out there, and then Jawan Jennings is our third down guy.
Well, you still have the second best tight end in the league.
That they've been having to hold back in pass protection because they don't have a guy.
Hey man,
They
what
need
I
that
said
extra
was
help in the offensive
you
line.
have you have a coach with no creativity. He only understands how to beat teams that he can overpower because he's overmanned. When it comes to actually winning games, that boy be getting
You
his
can't
ass
win a
whooped.
game if we're ever trailing by 5. I'm just changing the channel. I ain't fucking watching. If we're ever losing at any point in the game by 5 or more points, I ain't watching.
And this is what I was saying about blaming Jimmy G.
Well, Jimmy hasn't done shit over in fucking Vegas either, so
But
that's not
again,
really an
look who his
excuse.
head coach is. Look who his head coach is. Another fucking shit. Like this is what we're saying. I'm glad I'm able to say
He's
this
over there still
while Mr. Harris
overthrowing
down here.
Devontae Adams wants to trade. He sucks so bad.
Well, yeah, I got that. But again, at the same time, confidence completely shot with Jamie. His confidence is done. But at the
Confidence
same
was
time,
done
you end
after
up
the
getting
Super Bowl that he overthrew. When he
getting
overthrew
a
Devontae
worse
Adams,
head
I
coach.
had deja fucking vu.
He had a worse
I
head
looked
coach,
at
bro.
that going, oh, that looked familiar.
Look, his confidence is shot.
Confidence, whatever. It's always been shot. He's not as good as people
No,
think he is. And this is
it
all
ain't
proof.
about being. People ain't think
Got a
he's
wide
the
open
next
man.
coming to anybody. We just think he's better than what he's showing because his confidence is shot. That's it. At least
He
that's coming from
stinks.
me.
Stinks.
Took y'all to the
Uh,
Super Bowl. Right now, y'all ain't showing nobody that
no,
able to
no,
take
no, no,
y'all right
no.
now.
Our
That's
run
right
game
there.
and the defense took us to the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Let's
Hey,
make
yeah.
that very
Hey,
fucking
yeah.
clear, sir.
Yep. That Packers game for sure, but he was definitely the quarterback that could have threw y'all out of the
Yeah,
game.
he was the quarterback. Again, we never won
You got
because of him. We
I hear
won in spite
y'all.
of him.
I hear y'all. You won in spite of
I'm
who?
not having this
You don't
argument
win in
again.
spite of
I'm not having
nobody.
it
Because
again.
right now, y'all not winning in spite of all the bullshit y'all got going on right now.
You said we had okay. So again,
Y'all not winning in spite of that.
you're not even boosting your argument. It's just
I
what I'm
am.
saying is we never won because of him. We got there because our run game was good and our defense was the fucking top defense in the league. That's how we got there. Jimmy was just
No.
along for the ride. He was Trent Dilfer
And
and Brad Johnson and his ass over to a possible Super Bowl win.
you can
That's
say
what he
that now,
did.
but
He rode the
he could have
coattails
threw
of
that
the rest
season
of the
away.
fucking team. Don't give me
I
that
don't have
shit of, oh, Jimmy took us to the Super.
either.
Fuck that. He was Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson in
You
that
making it
bitch.
seem like Jimmy at every game, Jimmy had only 8 passes. Like I
Jimmy had
said, that
one good
Packers
game
game,
against New Orleans and everybody thought he was elite.
again, no, not at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm
I
saying
know you
that
were, but
again,
that's
that
what
man
everybody else,
he
including
could have
49er
threw.
fans, are thinking.
Okay, well then again, that's fine. All I'm saying is Jimmy could have threw the season away. That's what I'm saying to you.
He did. He
Like,
overthrew him. It's called
no,
overthrowing Emmanuel Sanders to win the
he
game in the Super
overthrew
Bowl.
a
That's what
pass
he
that
did.
shouldn't even
That's
been
throwing the game
that
away,
shouldn't
throwing the
even been
season
had
away.
because your coaching staff put y'all in the position where y'all had to sit there and get in that moment because y'all was up in that Super Bowl and you're supposed to not be able to in the position where you got to sit here and fight to get the damn game back because
So
y'all
we
was
did.
making dumb decisions.
That's what I'm saying. Like even
Dead
if he's
possession.
whether he's put in that situation or not, it doesn't matter. He wasn't going to be the guy. I already knew that if it came down to it, if it came down to Jimmy G making the final drive to get us to win the fucking Super Bowl. He wasn't going to be able to fucking do it regardless of what the situations were. We can blame whoever the fuck coaches or whatever. The situation is still the same.
You're up
Could you
10.
execute the play in order to win the game? No, he fucking couldn't. I knew he wasn't going to do it. Everybody was hoping that he was going to be able to do it, but no. Regardless of the situation, you're in the moment. You overthrew the guy who was going to win you the fucking game. And he's always done that. He's never been the clutch guy who was going to win you, give you the game-winning drive. Regardless of whatever fucking argument that wants to get thrown up about Bieber Rabbit or coaching or whatever the fuck, when the
So
situation came down to it to execute the
anything to
play,
disprove your point.
you failed constantly. Over and over and over and over and over again. Like I said, he had one good game against against the Saints, and everybody lost their goddamn mind.
Again,
And then
I don't
after
know
that,
which
he kept showing
which
his ass,
people you're
but
looking
everybody
at, but
wanted to
those
be a
you
Jimmy
need
G
to stop looking at
apologist.
those people.
Everybody wanted to be a fucking, making
Well,
excuses for Jimmy G. No, I ain't fucking
well,
having it. I'm not having it
it's
anymore.
not making
I'm not making
excuses. It's
excuses
just
for
the
that dude.
facts.
He wasn't
It's the
that guy.
facts.
He was not
When
that
you're
guy.
up,
Period. So
when
to
you're up in
actually
that
think
situation,
that
you're not going to give
to
the game
actually
away.
think that regardless of the coaching, that he was still going to be able to be out there and execute. No, if you thought he was ever going to be that guy to go and execute the play, to go and run that fucking drive, to be able to be the general and call what's going on, false. Jimmy was never going to be that guy. Never, ever, period.
In your eyes.
No,
So
bullshit.
only in
You're
your eyes,
no,
and
in
this how you
eyes.
feel.
That's
No, I'm just saying.
that's fucking
Look,
reality. That's what it is on the field.
no, that's not
That is what
reality.
is
And
there.
okay, so
Why
if you're going
people
to,
keep
if you're
trying to
going with
make
reality
excuses
and
for
of
this man,
history,
I fucking
when
don't
you're up,
understand. Maybe it's because he
regardless of
looks like a
whoever the
movie
quarterback
star and he
is,
had sex with a
regardless
porn
whoever
star.
the quarterback
Maybe
is,
that's
when
what
you're
it
up
was.
in the
I
Super
have
Bowl in
no
the
idea.
49ers
But
situation,
no,
they're
bro.
not
No.
supposed to give up
Stop.
that points.
Stop. You're
They're
making
not supposed to
excuses
give up
for
that
him. You're
points.
making excuses
No
for him.
matter whoever the quarterback
You're
is,
making
no matter
excuses
what the
for him. He's
team
not
is,
that guy.
when they're up in the situation like y'all was in, they're not supposed to give a game away. You can sit here and say all that stuff about Jimmy all you want, but history shows that everybody
Again, it's all
sees that the
semantics
exact
and
same way.
excuses I'm hearing. It's all
Everybody sees
semantics
that
and
exact
excuses
same
on
way,
why Jimmy G
including
couldn't again
yourself.
execute.
No
That's
matter
all I'm
what
hearing.
team
That's
it
all I've
is,
ever heard
if
from
it
him.
was your team, if it was not your team, again, if
Hey,
you're
you
up,
know more about my
you're
team than
up
I do?
10 points. If
You
you're
know
up
more
10
about my
points,
team
no
than I
matter
do?
who it is, if you're up
Do
10
I know
points in
more
the
about the
Niners
Bucks than you
situation
do?
in the Super Bowl, again, if
Do
you
I know
feel
more
that
about the
way,
Bucks than you do?
again, trying to change the topic while trying to drown my point
I'm
ain't gonna
trying to
make me
tell you
answer you.
what's reality of the team, Kay. You're
And I'm
making up some
telling you
sort
what's
of
reality.
fantasy excuse of what it
How
is.
am I making
I'm
fantasy
telling you what
excuses
is
when
going
I'm
on.
literally telling you reality standpoint? What's
I'm
fantasy about saying any team in any situation, no matter if it's your team with Jimmy, your team without Jimmy, my team with Baker or Tom, whoever, whose ever team, if you're up 10 points in the fucking Super Bowl against a team like the damn Chiefs, there's no way you're supposed to give that game back.
So here's my
There's no
question.
way. Like, no matter
If
whoever's the quarterback in
here's my
team, they're
question to
gonna
you. You
feel
have
that way.
Tom Brady on your team, right? You had Tom Brady on your team. You guys are up. If you guys are up 10, you think Tom Brady would accept bullshit coaching calls in those types of
Again,
situations when you're up 10? When you're up 10 and you have a running game that's been destroying this team, you think fucking Tom Brady would have been like, oh yeah, let's run that play? No, fuck no. We're gonna win this game. We're gonna keep giving the ball off to Mostert, who's been destroying this
it's
team all
hard to
goddamn
sit
day.
here. It's hard to sit here and compare my team and Tom Brady because we literally played the exact same team
There's a
and we
game
blew their ass out.
manager.
We
There's a
showed y'all
game
how to beat
manager
them.
and a yes man to the head
Leonard
coach.
Fournette ran the damn ball.
And there's a
People caught
general.
passes. He threw picks. All kind of shit happened in our game, and we blew their ass out. Our defense did their job. Our other people, other than these guys that you're blaming,
That's
like the
not
quarterback,
that's
our
not
defense
answering my
did their job.
question.
Our defense smothered Pat Mahomes. I'm answering your question. You're just not willing to listen to the answer.
No,
I'm telling you,
okay,
the
the
exact
question
same
is,
team, and we showed you how to beat them. So I didn't want to use Tom as an excuse.
so you
All I said
so
was
you
a
didn't
moment
You don't
and you
think
were in.
your offense, coaching wise, if since you guys were up, that Tom Brady wasn't on the sidelines talking about what could work, what we need to do, what everything else like that?
Well,
You
everybody
don't
was a
think Tom was
collaborative
on the
effort at
sidelines
that
trying to
point.
figure
So
that
yeah,
out?
Tom as a legend, they were listening. Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich, they all were communicating together. So yes, I believe that was happening because they said that what was happening. But again, that is not a situation that
That's
you
again
had. You
that's
didn't
again
have
my
that
difference.
situation.
That's again my
That's
difference
not your difference.
between
You're comparing Tom Brady, a legend, to anybody. Is
you're not
crazy. I'm
no,
saying
that's again,
it
you didn't
is.
hear it.
It's
That's
completely
my difference
crazy.
between a game manager and a general. The
You're
general,
going
somebody
to
goes
that
in and it's
quarterback
not just Tom Brady who
7
does
Super
this.
Bowls. Come on.
Okay, so
Go to a
oh my
guy that
god.
hasn't been as
Hey,
many
hey,
accolades as
hey,
the top
stop.
guy
Okay,
on his
okay.
team.
Then
Like,
let's
that's
not
all you
use
gotta
Tom Brady
do.
anymore. Let's use somebody else.
Yeah, that
Patrick
makes it
Mahomes.
easier.
Let's use Patrick.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
let's
Are
not
you
use
fucking
Patrick Mahomes
serious?
because I guess
So
he's
yeah,
too fucking good to
let's
use
go
as
to
an
the
example.
next top guy. Like
You're missing the point
come
of my
on.
example. Game
No,
manager,
your example
general.
is
Game
you're
manager,
comparing Jimmy
general.
G
Game
to make your
manager,
point. You're
general.
comparing
He's
him
not the general.
the
He
top
never
of the
was the
top
general.
to
He
make
never
your
will be
point.
the general.
That's all you're doing.
Period.
That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. You're comparing him to the top of the top to make your point. That's all. That's
I'm
it.
not. We're moving
Yes,
on.
you
You
are.
didn't hear it. We're moving on.
I
Ravens and
heard
the
you.
Cardinals. Ravens and the
Like,
Cardinals 31-24.
nonsense.
Bengals again beat the crap out of the 49ers. We already talked about 31-17. Chargers actually won at home. 30-13 against the Bears, who probably could have used Sweat last week. That's a running game as well that's kind of disappearing. Um, and I'm wondering if Justin Herbert is just a younger version of Philip Rivers in the fact of he basically is doing the same thing. He'll have a few games where he's good and he wins and he's putting up the stats, but at the end of the day, they're not really going anywhere. That's just what the Chargers do. It just they'll put up stats and they're entertaining, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to putting the dubs on the board when it matters, they're not they're not there to show up. Now maybe that's just a that's got to be just a Chargers thing because that seems to be the story of that team, even going back down to into the history books. What the innovators of the air raid and everything else like that. All right, they innovated the offense and all that other kind of stuff, but have the Chargers ever won a Super Bowl? No, they haven't. So it's like, yeah, they've been entertaining, but it's never translated into putting Lombardi's up in your trophy hall. So I don't know what it is that the Chargers need to do, and maybe it's coaching for them too. Is it? But the head coach, it kind of you when you're these types of teams, you start to throw yourself into a conundrum where your coach is kind of like just good enough to keep his job, but he's not good enough to get you what you want. So it's kind of, and then one of those, do you make that gamble of trying to find another coach? Um, that it could always blow up in your face, or so it's kind of at this point now, what do the Chargers need to do in order to get over the hump to actually be in the running to be, hoisting Lombardi's?
Add receivers. Get some linemen. I mean, Eckler's good. Herbert's good. They just need a receiver and some linemen, probably. I believe. So, you know what I mean?
Minus the injuries, do you think Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are good?
I think they need to add receivers and some linemen. If everybody was healthy right fucking now on that roster, right now, if every single person that's a member of the Los Angeles Chargers right now were healthy, I think they need to add receivers and some linemen.
All right. One or two? Or just one? One would be good.
Well, receivers would be an S. You're plural. So you need two.
Or do they
Maybe
need
three.
a receiver and a good tight end?
I don't know. Because don't they got Everett, right?
Yeah, but he's another one of those that he's a hit or miss.
Yeah,
Can't
so
really
they probably
see
need
healthy.
to have he could be one of the receivers. Add one of those guys and then have him as the number 2 guy type shit. You know what I'm saying?
If he once again can stay healthy. Problem with
Yeah, that's
Everett
what
really
I said.
is.
So yeah, so great point. Yeah, tight end would be great. So add a receiver, tight end there, and then maybe a receiver.
Tight end, receiver, and
Some
offensive line.
linemen. For sure. But
They've
again,
never
that's
really
gonna
had the full go of things. Like if they've had a good quarterback and a good running back, they don't have a good wide receiver. They don't have good wide receivers or linemen. If they have a good line and good wide receivers, the quarterback play or the running back suck.
well,
Or
they
the
had
defense.
Phillip
It's
Rivers
always
had
one.
Keenan Allen
They've
too.
never had everything good at one time.
Phillip Rivers was there with Keenan Allen too. I just want to remind you that.
Allen also getting up there in kids.
He was there quite a while. So I mean, when he was talking on top 5 shit,
At one point,
I mean,
at one point he was.
At one point, it was what?
The top 5.
Top 5 of what?
Wide receivers.
In what league?
In the NFL.
Which console? Xbox.
Xbox or PlayStation.
PlayStation.
What year was this?
I'm trying to figure this shit out. We got to figure out, like, we got to figure out whose household allowed that. Was they just playing like on some whim shit? Like,
Vikings just traded for Joshua Dobbs. That just happened right now. I saw that flash on the screen.
Motherfucker.
Joshua Dobbs is now a Minnesota Viking. Yikes. Well, here's my question to you, Kay. Who picks up Cam, and why hasn't he been picked up?
Ain't nobody gonna pick him up then. So what?
But why do you
I
think
feel
that
like
is? If the talent is there, why isn't he getting picked up?
people still know he can play. It's just more the fact of they trying to use the Patriots as to be like, oh yeah, you were down, and then when you went back to the Panthers, it's like that's where he got drafted like that. So yeah, they try to give him like, let's see what he do he ain't really had no weapons over there in Carolina. You know what I mean? When he went back, like he ain't had no real weapons. He ain't had no Steve Smith. You know what I mean? He ain't had no weapons like that. So I don't know. I don't know. Personally,
That tells you the Cardinals are definitely trying to move on from Kyler Murray. They're trying to go for that number one pick. What did they give up for him? Hold on.
that's crazy.
What did they give up?
Well, the Commanders finna trade Chase Young.
I wanted Sweat, but I wouldn't mind having Chase Young. You gave up a second rounder for Sweat, but what did they give up for Dobbs? It had to have been like a fifth or a sixth,
Damn, that's
or some
crazy.
sort of compensatory, fourth round pick next year or something like that. It
Man,
couldn't have been
crazy.
like a haul. There's no way. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say anything about what was given. Just that um, just that he was traded.
Mm. Well, at least I know I'm still gonna be good with Aiden. In my other league, one I'm actually winning in. I don't really give a shit now. I'm winning in my other league. I'm 7-1. I just won last night. Yeah, the
In the
guy I was
Jaffa?
playing. No, I said my other league, my
Oh,
Florida league.
oh,
Jaffa
so
league. I'm
you're
not
up
saying.
there in the Jaffa League too, no?
Hell no, I'm like at the bottom because that league had got fucking most of that got auto drafted. So I was just like, fuck, if not all.
That's
About,
happened to you the last 2 years.
yeah, I don't give a shit. I
Figure
thought
out
I'd be able to make moves.
we can always
I end up
be
getting
able
the
to.
same fucking running back 2 years in the goddamn row. How the hell that happened? I get Williams from the goddamn Broncos both years. That shit crazy. It's like my fucking Yahoo want to fucking see me fail at running back. It's like I'm fast, fam. Like, why you got to give me fucking guys like this? You can't give me one good running back 1 year, like just 1 year.
Yeah, the
They gave me
Lions
Lamar
beat
though.
the Raiders 26-14. I think it. Well, nah, I think it's still a little too early to say that it could be the case, but I think our pick for the NFC North champion being the Lions looks more and more like it's going to be coming to fruition. And who would have thought we'd be saying the Lions and the Jaguars are fighting for the top of their division? Shit. Crazy times, crazy world we live in, huh? Pretty insane. Seventh. Okay. So the Cardinals traded Josh Dobbs in the seventh, and the Vikings got a sixth. Or actually, no. Vikings gave up a sixth. Arizona gave Josh Dobbs in the seventh. So essentially, they just gave him Josh Dobbs for a bag of balls, essentially for free. Josh Dobbs, maybe a discount at the local eatery and stuff like that for him.
I ain't gonna say all that.
Yeah.
6th-round picks has been coming out to be solid players
Lately. Yeah, late round picks have been nice hits for a lot of people, making people wonder about the scouting departments of a lot of teams. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the hell out of you guys for hanging out with us on this Tuesday morning. Friday, again, Mr. Ojeda is going to be with us on Friday evening to talk more college football and everything else like that. Maybe we can get Corey Hammond on the show and stuff like that too. But nonetheless, hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Have a safe Halloween. Love you guys. Jeff Harmon. Myself, JP, 610 Beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country K. See y'all later. Deuces.
Go time.